Yo bro, who got you smiling like that? Is it the Redmi Note 10 Pro or the Infinix Zero X Pro? Let's find out. Starting off with what's inside the box. The Redmi Note 10 Pro comes with a TPU case that turns yellow when it ages, a USB Type-C cable and a 33 watts fast charger. For the Infinix Zero X Pro, it comes with a better looking case, earphones, a USB Type-C cable and a 45 watts fast charger. I did a battery charge test and the Infinix Zero X Pro was way faster than the Redmi Note 10 Pro, more on that to come. So for what's inside the box, the Infinix Zero X Pro has more accessories and it has a better looking case. Now moving on to the build quality, both the Infinix Zero X Pro and the Redmi Note 10 Pro have a glass rear and plastic frame. For the display protection, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the front and rear, while I honestly don't know what kind of protection is on the Infinix Zero X Pro. Infinix didn't say a word on it, but it is scratch resistant. As for water resistance, the Redmi Note 10 Pro is an IP53 dust and splash resistant smartphone, while the Infinix Zero X Pro doesn't have an IP rating and it doesn't need one because I submerged both smartphones in water for 5 minutes and they both survived. That said, for the build quality, I think I'll have to give it to the Redmi Note 10 Pro because it's an IP53 water and dust resistant smartphone, and as for the Infinix Zero X Pro, nobody knows what kind of protection it has. Now for the external features, the Infinix Zero X Pro has a dual nano SIM card and memory card tray. At the bottom it has a 3.5mm audio jack, a USB Type-C port and a mono speaker. Redmi Note 10 Pro is like hold my beer. It's got dual stereo speakers that are louder and sound richer. It has 2 microphones for better audio recording and noise cancellation. It has an IR blaster to control infrared devices, a 3.5mm audio jack, a USB Type-C port, a dual nano SIM card and memory card tray. Oh my goodness, that's definitely better. When it comes to unlocking both smartphones with a fingerprint scanner, the approach is different. The fingerprint scanner on the Redmi Note 10 Pro is located on the power button just on the right side of the smartphone, while the Infinix Zero X Pro fingerprint scanner is on the display. Infinix Zero X fingerprint scanner looks cool, no doubt, and it's fast, but it isn't as fast as the side-mounted fingerprint scanner on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. For the external features, no contest, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has more features. Now for the display department, both the Redmi Note 10 Pro and the Infinix Zero X Pro come with a 6.67-inch 1080p AMOLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate. One area where the Redmi Note 10 Pro beats the Infinix Zero X Pro is in brightness. The Redmi Note 10 Pro has a peak brightness of 1200 nits, while the Infinix Zero X Pro can only get to 700 nits. The camera punch hole is slightly smaller on the Redmi Note 10 Pro, even though both smartphones have a 16-megapixel selfie camera. For the display department, for normal YouTube videos, they both produce vibrant colors and you won't be able to differentiate one from another until you play an HDR video like this one. The Redmi Note 10 Pro display is still vivid and sharp, but the Infinix Zero X Pro is playing this video like it was shot in log. As you can see, it isn't as vibrant as the Redmi Note 10 Pro's display. This only happens when you're watching HDR videos. Also, the Infinix Zero X Pro doesn't have a color scheme where you can change the display temperature and colors. So for the display department, the Redmi Note 10 Pro wins. I'm beginning to sound like a broken record. Infinix fans, do not exit this video because when it comes to performance, the Infinix Zero X Pro is better. The Infinix Zero X Pro comes with a Mediatek Helio G95 processor with an intelligent display chip that helps the smartphone deliver smooth visuals, while the Redmi Note 10 Pro comes with the Snapdragon 732G processor. Starting out with synthetic benchmark applications like Antutu, the Infinix Zero X Pro has the higher score. For Geekbench 5, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has a higher single-core score, while the Infinix Zero X Pro has a higher multi-core score. For 3D Mark, which is used to measure gaming performance of a smartphone or PC, the Infinix Zero X Pro scores higher. For multitasking, the version of the Redmi Note 10 Pro I have here comes with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage, while the Infinix Zero X Pro comes standard with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. Infinix and Xiaomi are promising software updates that will allow you to expand the RAM of both smartphones, but at the time of making this video, that's not not available. Also for storage, both smartphones have fast write speed with UFS 2.2 technology. Now gaming on both smartphones is actually good. On Call of Duty, both smartphones play the game at very high graphics and very high frame rate. The dual stereo speakers on the Redmi Note 10 Pro makes gaming much better. On PUBG, both smartphones play the game at HD graphics and high frame rate, but when I played Geshin Impact, the Infinix Zero X Pro played the game way better than the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Now for the operating system, both smartphones are running Android 11 with their various skins. According to my sources at Infinix, the Infinix Zero X Pro would get Android 12 updates, while the Redmi Note 10 Pro would also get the Android 12 update and maybe Android 13. Now for ads, you don't get ads on the Infinix Zero X Pro, yes. But for the Redmi Note 10 Pro, well, you only get ads when you install an application or when you open Xiaomi pre-installed system applications. Now let's move on to the camera department. Both the Infinix Zero X Pro and the Redmi Note 10 Pro come with a 16 megapixel front-facing camera. Comparing the pictures captured by both smartphones, pictures on the Redmi Note 10 Pro are just sharper and better looking outdoors. Going indoors, pictures on the Redmi Note 10 Pro looks better as well and sharper. In low light situations, the Redmi Note 10 Pro again looks better. Portrait shots on the Redmi Note 10 Pro looks better again. The Infinix Zero X Pro applies smoothing on your face when you're in portrait mode and there's no way to turn it off. What's up guys, so here's a video from the front facing camera of the Infinix Zero X Pro and the Redmi Note 10 Pro. The Infinix Zero X Pro can shoot in 4K 30 frames per second while the Redmi Note 10 Pro can only shoot in 1080p 30 frames per second. So what do you guys think about the video quality coming out from both smartphones? Which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comment section below. Now moving to the rear cameras, both smartphones have a 108 megapixel camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera. The Redmi Note 10 Pro has a 5 megapixel macro camera and a 2 megapixel depth camera. The Infinix Zero X Pro has a special camera, that's the 8 megapixel periscope telephoto camera, and for regular pictures using the 108 megapixel main camera, pictures look identical, but when you zoom in you get more details on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. For the colors, I think both of them are doing a very good job, but as I said, when you zoom in, you get more details on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. For the 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, well, the Redmi Note 10 Pro image looks more vivid. Now moving to the 8 megapixel periscope camera on the Infinix Zero X Pro, you can zoom in all the way to 60x and capture footage like this. The thing is, the main and ultra wide camera are what most of us would use. Looking at the pictures produced by the Redmi Note 10 Pro, it captures better looking pictures using those cameras. Okay, so right now I've switched to the rear camera of both smartphones. Both smartphones are shooting in 4K 30 frames per second, and which one do you guys prefer? Let me just run a bit. Look at that cloud, beautiful cloud. Looks like the Redmi Note 10 Pro is doing a better job in stabilizing the video. So which one has the better quality, guys? Let me know in the comment section below. So for the camera department, well, this has a versatile camera, with the 8 megapixel periscope camera, but the one I'll pick is the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Now moving to the battery department, the Infinix Zero X Pro comes with a 4500 mAh battery, while the Redmi Note 10 Pro comes with a 5020 mAh battery. For the charging time, yes, the breakdown, the Infinix Zero X Pro charges way faster. It took it 95 minutes to charge from 0 to 100%, while the Redmi Note 10 Pro got to 95% battery life and it took it 1 hour 20 minutes. For the battery drain test, I calibrated the display on both smartphones to the same lux and I ran Antutu benchmark for 2 hours. And all the time I ran the test, the Infinix Zero X Pro scored higher and the result was consistent, while I suspect the Redmi Note 10 Pro is probably throttling its performance. Just look at that number. After 2 hours, the Infinix Zero X Pro battery is at 52%, while the Redmi Note 10 Pro battery is at 72%. After 2 hours of watching YouTube, the Infinix Zero X Pro battery is at 33%, while the Redmi Note 10 Pro battery is at 58%. 1 hour of playing Geshin Impact, the battery level of the Infinix Zero X Pro is at 10%, while the Redmi Note 10 Pro is at 41%. Big difference. After 5 hours and 27 minutes, the Infinix Zero X Pro is pronounced dead and the battery level of the Redmi Note 10 Pro is at 36%. 2 hours of playing Geshin Impact, the Infinix Zero X Pro is at 21%. 30 minutes of Antutu, the battery is at 15%. And finally, after 7 hours and 11 minutes, the battery is at 6%. Wow. Clearly, if you want the smartphone with the better battery, the Redmi Note 10 Pro is the device to pick. But if you want a faster charging smartphone, the Infinix Zero X Pro is the one to pick. Which one would you pick? Let me know in the comment section below. faster charging, or long-lasting battery life. So after comparing both smartphones, the Redmi Note 10 Pro is the winner of this comparison. If you found this video to be useful, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Valo, signing out.